David, it's great seeing you in person again. It's been wonderful being out here in Florence and seeing the facility, but also Italy. My first time here, and you've been a wonderful host, as has been all of your countrymen. And it's been incredible seeing the amount of care and attention that goes into everything that you make here, whether it's Florentine steaks or medical devices.
Exactly,
being able to see all of the effort and quality that goes into it. Could you talk about your involvement in that process for the Trio?
Yeah, so as area manager, we are not involved only in, let's say, sales, but we are responsible also for the country. That means take care of the feedback that is coming from the market and bring this feedback from clinical point of view, technical point of view, commercial point of view back to the company and talk then directly with the R&D department, with quality department, regulatory department, and also with the board of the company. This is mainly our job. So especially for surgical, I was involved for 2 years and a half ago, for starting from the website, from, let's say, some surgical tools, and also to focus on some countries like the United States, Canada with Simone Parenti, and other countries, for example, north of Europe and West Europe.
So Trio has been out on the market for a number of years now. Could you describe some of that feedback that you've been getting about it?
Yeah, the advantage of Trio is basically that it's a scanning assisted procedure of this high quality laser. It's a complex technology that is easy to use for surgeons, that reduce timing of procedure and increase the reproducible results. And this was our first aim, our first goal, to have a new tool for surgeons to have better results, reproducible results, and have a tool in their hands. So it's a complex technology in which we manufacture also the laser source, we manufacture also the scanner and micromanipulator in the company to have a complete control of the system, so of the procedure that is performed, and to have a control 360, let's say, also on the feedback that is coming from the market, because the system, the Trio, is sold worldwide. For the US, we have a special 510 case, so it's FDA clearance, special one, so it's a little bit different compare all the other Trio we are selling worldwide, because we have specific rules that we respect. And now our Trio was the first CO2 laser for surgery that was, let's say, certificate CE-MDR, that are new rules in Europe. So worldwide we spread this and we sold the system to distributors, and for me it's exciting to have you, Parker and John Parker, here in Elaine facilities, because first of all there is a big trust between our companies. You are the first here in surgical, let's say, market, and the use market is at the end of the day the first market, starting from ENT, then gynecology and other kind of applications.
Really seeing how you described, you control the whole process of the laser. You put together all the components, you manufacture the sources yourselves, and one of the things that leads to, like you described, is reproducible results. And could you talk about why that's so important for a physician and for a patient to have reproducible results?
Yeah, reproducible results means less possible mistakes. That means a procedure performed with some tools and technologies like the ultrapulse emission, for example, or the PSD, in which we manage exactly the ablation capability of the laser from one side, and from the other side the coagulation effect that we can have with the laser. So that means we reduce the thermal collateral effect. That means also that the cut ablation is more precise. We can, let's say, manage the depth of action, the power of action. So in the hands of the surgeons, there is a scanning assisted technology based on CO2 laser that is easy to use, first of all, that can, thanks to the scanning option, make that procedure that is automatically done by the scanning and micromanipulator technology. So let's say that at the end of the day, the TRIO is half quality of the laser system and half quality coming from, let's say, scanning and micromanipulator. So results, reproducible results for the patients means less collateral effect, so perceptions is from functional point of view, aesthetic point of view better, and for the surgeons is reducing time of procedure, first of all, and you have the same, almost the same results with the specific kind of application. For example, TLM is one of the gold standard procedure. For example, the stepidotomy, for example, performed thanks to the one-shot stepidotomy, for example, as technology, is absolutely easy to perform, really quick, and so there are less possible mistakes during that kind of procedure.
Could you talk more on how the system does provide an ease of use for physicians?
Ease use?
Yeah. What are some of the things about it that leads to that ease of use? And like you said, for the stepidotomy, for example.
Yeah. For stepidotomy, for example, it's performed thanks to the fact that we have the beam coming from the laser, is passing through the combination of scanner and micromanipulator. You set the parameters, you set the target, and then you press. And thanks to the specific shape done, spiral, made for this kind of procedure, the business is done. So you don't have to make a Rosetta technique, you don't have to use more tools. It's easy performed in short time, absolutely clean, without any collateral effect. And this is absolutely important for the surgeon.
I'm glad you mentioned the spiral, because I think that's a simple innovation that DEKA made, but has some profound implications. Could you describe why it is important that it comes with a spiral?
The spiral is important because it's a technology that is focusing in a point in which you can manage different kind of size, because you have to perform such kind of, let's say, hole and then apply a pistons. That is a procedure that is well known as stepidotomy, so as part of the activity done also with the laser. The fact that we use this specific beam with this specific shape means to manage the hole in best way without any collateral effect, and let's say performing this hole in the right shape.
Quite innovative.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
As, for example, the use of, let's say, TLM, transoral laser microsurgery, in which we operate, the surgeon is operating on cancers, oral cancer in this case. Once you have the line, the arc, and once you have all this kind of shapes in which you can ablate, you can cut, incision, excision, so you have really a perfect tool in the hands of the surgeon.
Yeah, and it provides quite a bit of optionality.
Yeah.
Could you maybe describe some of the other ways that it gives that optionality for physicians?
What do you mean exactly with optionality?
So it's able to produce multiple shapes with the micromanipulator.
Exactly.
Let's use stepidotomies, let's use ablation, excision. What are some other features that are included to provide physicians?
Thanks to R&D department, mixed also with the, let's say, physicians that are close to the company, key opinion leaders, we perform a wide range of shape options. But any kind of shape options is real to use, so it's coming from the KOL, let's say, surgeon experience, and thanks to this partnership between R&D department of DEKA and also this combination and this feedback coming from the surgeon during the operation after a certain time. Thanks to this feedback, the shapes change time by time, and let's say that at the end of the day we decided to put that specific shape thanks to this combination between this R&D department, product manager of surgical, and also surgeons that is managed directly by the product manager of surgical department of Valenti.
Could you talk about where the name TRIO comes from?
TRIO?
Yeah, the SmartXide TRIO. Where does the TRIO come from?
Okay. A simple question. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's coming from the fact that TRIO basically is based on CO2 laser that we derive in two different ways. One is articulated arm, in which you can assemble the scanner micromanipulator. Okay, and the second option based on the CO2 laser is the hollow waveguide. Okay, so it's dual. And the third is let's say an innovative concept in which we put a second wavelength 50 watt of 980 nanometer of diode module. So built in the system is an option, but in any case you can also put them later on the system. So you can have a control of three different kind of application. That means articulated arm, hollow waveguide, and diode directly from the screen of the system. At the end of the day, and physician and especially the surgeon has a tool in the hand with a lot of versatility. So you have articulated arm, the scanning, and micromanipulator. You have a flexible fiber based on CO2 laser. You have a flexible fiber based on diode. So you have a complex tool in one unit. From clinical point of view, it's a big advantage because for, let's say, the bioengineer in the hospital, it's a big opportunity to have an RF excited laser source in which maintenance costs, for example, are close to nothing. From surgeon point of view, of course, is a high performance with the tool really versatile. From, let's say, patient point of view, you have, let's say, less possible collateral effect, so that means better functional and aesthetic outcomes.
Yeah, so everybody wins.
Everybody wins.